Hey y'all, it's Kate from the Literary Apothecary, and today we're going to be doing our March wrap-up and our April TBR. So, in March, I've read 6 books total finished, 1 DNF, and 3 of them were 5 stars, 1 was a 3.5 star, 1 a 3 star, and 1 2.5 stars. So, pretty good reading month for March. And now we're going to quickly go through the books that I read in March, and I will link all of the reviews that I have up in the description, so go check them out if you haven't yet. And let's just get into it. So the first book up is A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. I listened to the audiobook of this, and I gave this 2.5 stars. It's a typical James Joyce book that you just can't figure out what the story is. And that was that. I'm glad to be done with that book. Next up is Winter Dance, The Fine Madness of Running the Iditarod by Gary Polson, and this was another audiobook I listened to. And this is a book for a collaboration I have coming up later this week on the Iditarod and sled dogs. I gave this book 3.5 stars, and there will be more information on that coming soon. Next up is Jade City by Fonda Lee, and I gave this 5 stars, and I absolutely loved this book. I can't wait to read book 2 in this series and book 3 when it comes out and see where the story goes. This was a fantastic read, and my mind just kept thinking about it after I finished. So 5 out of 5 stars for Jade City. Next up is Anthem for the Passing Bells, and this was a ARC beta read that I was reading for a friend on Discord, and I ended up DNFing this book, and I mentioned in my weekly wrap-up from this week that I couldn't connect to any of the characters, which made me not want to continue reading, and I've discussed all of my issues with the author, and she has a lot of notes to go forward and make this book even better. And then the next book up that I finished is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. This was my favorite book this month, and my brain is still thinking about this book. It is so good. I can see myself reading this every year, maybe multiple times a year. It was so good. My favorite book this month, and maybe my favorite book this year. I haven't decided on that yet because it's still in March, so it's still early, but definitely one of my favorite books this year so far, if not the favorite. And then The Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers, and I gave that 5 out of 5 stars also. That was an amazing love story that hit all of the emotions, and my birthday read for Leslie at the Nerdy Narrative, one of her favorite books. And then the last book that I finished was The Adventures of Balto, The Untold Story of Alaska's Famous Iditarod Sled Dog by Patricia Cargo. And this was an ebook that I read, and I gave this 3 stars. And that will be included in my collaboration vlog coming up this week, so more on that later. Now, the books that I'm currently reading is Senlin Ascends by Josiah Bancroft. I'm really enjoying this book, and I can't wait to see what happens in this story. So this will be one of my first books in April if I don't finish it within the next couple days. I'm reading this for the Library of Alexandria's birthday, which was just a couple weeks ago, and I'm really enjoying this. I'm glad he recommended this book. I'm also reading The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. This was a group read on the Literary Discord, which I will link below. Everyone else is way farther ahead in this book than I am, but I'm enjoying coming from behind and learning from them as I'm getting to the different parts. So I'm really enjoying this. Even though it's Russian literature and there's a lot of depression and suffering, I'm really enjoying this book so far, more than I thought I would be. I'm also reading Wildcat by J.P. Harker, and this is an ebook I'm reading, and the author himself, J.P., reached out to me in email and asked if I wanted to review this book on my channel, and a lot of my friends on Discord had already read this book in March and really, really enjoyed it, so I was excited to get to read this. It was already on my TBR for this year, so I just moved it up a couple notches and put it into March. As you know, I like to build a big TBR, which leaves room for mood reading and just kind of picking and choosing which books I actually read during the month, and then whatever books I don't get to that month goes to my kind of slush pile, my leftover, which I kind of slide in when I have less busy reading months. So in April, these are the books that I hope to get to. Obviously, I won't get to all of them, but this is what I hope to get to. First up is The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. I'll be starting this week. This is a buddy read with Leslie at the Nerdy Narratives Discord, and I can't wait to read this book. You've heard me talk about it before, and I am so excited for this book. The next book up is The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackwith, and this is our Discord buddy read at the Literary Apothecary Discord. The link will be down in the description below if you want to join us. I can't wait to read this. I love books about magical libraries, and this is The Library in Hell. So I am fascinated by this whole story and what's going to happen in this book. I can't wait to read it. I've heard such great things about it. Next book up is A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is book 2 in the Blood and Ash series, and I will be reading this hopefully early in April before book 3 comes out on April 20th, which is another book on my April TBR, The Crown of Gilded Bones. That comes out, like I said, on April 20th, so I'll be reading Kingdom of Flesh and Fire before that, and then sliding the third book in there in my reading list. Now, next book up is Jingo by Terry Pratchett, and this is the next book in the City Watch series, and you know how much I love Terry Pratchett and the Discworld books, so I can't wait to get to this as kind of a palate cleanser in between some of these bigger books. I also have An Ember in the Ashes by Sabatir, which is a book that I had started back in February and had to put on hold, and I'm hoping to get back to this maybe in April, maybe in May. We'll see when I can slide it in. And then just a Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder, and this is a group read with my little group of friends that I have on Discord, and we're all going to be starting this next week and reading it together, and I can't wait because I've heard such great things by Vish and Abby on this book. And then the last couple books that I have on my TBR, Air Awakens, which will be an e-read and a buddy read with the shelf published in Discord. Link will also be down in the description below. And Daughter of Blood, and that is another group read with my group of friends on Discord. So that's my wrap up for March, my April TBR. There's a lot going on. Everything will be in the description. Let me know what you read in March. What was your favorite book that you read? What are you looking forward to reading in April? Information on my Patreon and Discord will be in the description below as always. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, keep reading, and I love you all to the moon and back. Bye.